Now this paticca samuppada, translated into English, is dependent origination. Paticca samuppada is in Pali, an ancient language of India at the time of the Buddha. And dependent origination explains the 12 links of causation. Why did we get born into this world? What makes us come to this world? How come we have cravings? How come we have senses? Explains life, explains the whole life. Where did we come from? Where are we going? Why did we come here? Why did we come to this world? Why did we get born into this world? This is dependent origination. It's like a cycle, a link. We call it the 12 links of dependent origination. And practitioners, meditators, meditate on it. They contemplate on it. And in order to contemplate on it, you need to memorize the keywords. You need to know the meaning of it. So, in order to understand it properly and contemplate properly, we need to memorize it, but before we memorize it, we need to know how to pronounce it. So that's why don't we learn it this way? The process of learning it takes a few sessions. If you have the patience and memorize it through, it's extremely beneficial for you. Explains the whole life. And of course, after we finish chanting it or reading it, I will continue with the explanation of each item. What is ignorance? What is consciousness? What is mind and body? What are the 6 senses? What do we mean by contact? What do we mean by craving? What do we mean by desires? And the process of becoming, birth, aging, sickness, lamentation, physical and mental sufferings, and all these tribulations, we explain it bit by bit. So first of all, let's put your palms together and let's start. You follow after me. Avijja Pachaya Sankara. We also would read the English version. Dependent on ignorance, volitional reaction arises. Sankara Pachaya Vinanam. Dependent on volitional reaction, consciousness arises. Vinana Pachaya Nama Rupam. Dependent on consciousness, the mind and body arises. Nama Rupam Pachaya Salayatanam. Dependent on the mind and body, the 6 senses arise. Salayatanam Pachaya Paso. Dependent on the 6 senses, contact arises. Passa Pachaya Vedana. Dependent on contact, feelings arise. Vedana Pachaya Tangha. Dependent on feelings, craving and aversion arise. Tangha Pachaya Upadanam. Dependent on craving and aversion, clinging arises. Upadanam Pachaya Bhava. Dependent on clinging, the process of becoming arises. Bhava Pachaya Jati. Dependent on the process of becoming, birth arises. Jati Pachaya Jara. Maranam Sukha Parideva. Dukkha Domanas. Upayasa Sambhavanti. Iva Mittasa Kavalasa. Dukkha Kandasa Samudayo Hoti. Dependent on the basis of birth, aging, and death arise. Together with sorrow, lamentation, physical and mental sufferings and tribulations. Thus arises this entire mass of sufferings. So you can put your palms down. The Pali side, Paticca Samuppada, actually should be chanted out. When we chanted it, it's like this. Avijja Pachaya Sankhara. Sankhara Pachaya Vinanam. Vinanam Pachaya Namarupam. Namarupam Pachaya Salayatanam. It's chanted this way. But before we chant it in this way, we have to know the words first. So we're not going to chant it like a melody. If you chant it like a melody, it's altogether is different from when you just say the words. But let's learn the words first. The first one of the 12 dependent origination, Avijja Pachaya Sankhara. Avijja means, in Pali, in English, it means ignorance. Pachaya means dependent on, or caused by. Pachaya, caused by. Sankhara is volitional reaction. Now, what does this mean? The 1, 2, and 3 explain the past. We have dependent origination explain the whole universe in relation to you as an individual in 2 dimensions. The first dimension is time. The second dimension is space. The whole world, or you, or every unit of the world, every sentient being, it's measured by the dimensions. In the macro scale, is time and space. Now, 1, 2, and 3 deals with the past. What is time? Now, time and space, what is the time is the past, the present, and the future. That's the time dimensions. What is space? Space is what is living within the time dimensions. So the time dimension, we call it the vertical dimensions. The horizontal dimension is the time dimensions. Time dimension contains the past, the present, and the future. Now, 1, 2, and 3 deals with the past. Talk about time first. Dependent on ignorance, volitional reaction arises, avijja pachaya tankara. We'll ask the question, how come we get born into this world? Where do I come from? We get born into this world caused by ignorance. because of ignorance, that this ignorance is not the same meaning as the general meaning of ignorance. This ignorance does not only mean stupidity. You are ignorant, you're stupid. The ignorance contains a much wider meaning than just stupidity. You could be the most renowned scientist, but you are ignorant. Why? Because you could be the most renowned scientist creating the atomic bomb and use that bomb to bomb countries, to destroy human beings. You are very intelligent, but you are ignorant because you're destroying lives. You could be a very intelligent politician, but you ruin your own country. You take sides in politics, or you use politics for your own benefits. You are very intelligent. You're not stupid, but you're ignorant. So you see the difference between stupidity and ignorance? We could be very intelligent, but we could be very ignorant. I'm a businessman, I'm a billionaire. How did I get my money? I get it illegally. So this ignorance has the perspective of morality in it too. Because of ignorance, and this ignorance also relates to the ego that we have. I'm for myself. I want to better myself. This is discrimination between you and me. Because of this, our relationship is different. I want to get everything at your expense, individual-wise or country-wise. I want to protect my country. I can occupy your country. I can wage wars. I belong to one race in my country and you belong to another race. I can commit genocide to eliminate your race. So many ignorance things going on. As an individual, I work in my company. I want to climb up the ladder, the echelon. I want to be the manager, and I want to step on your back. I want to do so many things to make myself outstanding. I can do a lot of tricks to trick you so that I get what I want, and I don't care about what you suffer. There's so many egoistic ignorance in here. Now, because of this ignorance, you think we have done ignorant deeds, evil deeds, and that's about it? According to the law of causation and the law of conservation of energy, this kind of ignorance would carry out volitional actions, which in turn develop karma, energy. Every thought has energy. Every word has energy. Every action has energy. And when this energy is created, it could be created. The nature of this energy is threefold: good, bad, or neutral. You're creating compassionate deeds, then you're creating good energy. If we're always hurting people, you're abusing people, you're creating bad energy. And sometimes, of course, you could be creating neutral energy. When you listen to Buddhism, you got to have patience. Every word has a lot of meaning in it. Don't look at the superficial meaning and take it for granted. No, you have to think deeper and deeper into it. Volitional reactions. You said that volitional reaction is caused by my ignorance. What kind of reaction? How bad am I? How good am I? Not only I'm doing bad deeds, I'm also doing good deeds at the same time. Sometimes I'm compassionate, sometimes I'm not selfish. I'm not selfish and egoistic all the time. True, because your deeds could be good, bad, or neutral. The good, the bad, and they call it the good, the bad, and the ugly, but we call it the good, the bad, and the neutral. So, what kind of volitional reactions I have given rise to that creates what you so-called karma. Karma is a very important word in the Buddhist teaching. K-A-R-M-A, karma. What is karma? It's an accumulation of energy through your volitional action. The energy is created, it won't go away. You think I hurt someone, nobody knows about it, and that's it. Or I kill someone and nobody knows about it, and that's it. Even though the police hasn't found you, even though in this life you're not punished by the law, you go into the next life, causation will get you. You can't go anywhere. But of course there are good deeds. I stay away from killing. I don't kill animals for food. I'm a vegetarian. I'm a vegetarian. I protect animals. I don't steal. I'm not greedy. I never take anything without not belonging to me. I don't commit sexual misconduct. I only have a good relationship with my wife, and I don't have any girlfriends or boyfriends or fly-by-night people. You know, I don't have that kind of thing. I'm extremely good at this. I'm very loyal. Some are good and some are bad. Some create good energy. Some create bad energy. And causation would say, good cause bring good effect, bad cause bring bad effect. If you sow the seed of apple, you will never get oranges. If you sow the seeds of apple, good seeds, you fertilize it, you water it, you give all the good causes to it, the fruits will come out. If you sow your apple seeds, you don't water it, you spoil it, you don't care about it, you ignore it, you're ignorant about it, it will never come out. Everything has cause and effect. There's nothing happen without cause. Why are you coming here today? You mean you're coming here not doing anything? You just drive by and say, oh, this is a temple, you drop by? There must be a reason for you to come here, either through a friend's introduction, or there must be a reason. All of a sudden you say, I want to be spiritual. I don't want to be pursuing material all the time. I'm not happy with my life. I want to find out more about what the Buddha teaches. That's the cost of you coming here. I want to find out more about meditation. Look, I'm depressed. I suffer from depression. Is there any way to save myself out of depression? Can meditation help? All these, you have causes to come here. So, out of ignorance, volitional reaction arises. And I was talking about just the first one, in action, the body behavior. Volitional reaction also involves the mouth, not just the body. The mouth, your speech. What kind of energy the mouth can create? Through speeches. Cursing has energy. Lying has energy. Flattery has energy. Double-tonguing has energy. Your speech can kill people. Can slander people, can cause the country to wage wars among the races. Your speech can cause the whole family to break down. Your speech can cause a divorce. Speech is very damaging sometimes. On the other hand, speech can be very beneficial. You could save people by having a good speech. By advising people to do good, you save an individual from committing suicide. So heaven and hell is not determined by God, by you yourself. You determined every thought. Is it a thought of hell? Is it a thought of heaven? It's all created by you yourself. Watch your mind. Watch your own mind. Don't let it go astray. Why are we meditating? Why are we focusing? Because our mind has not been under our control. The Buddha wants us to learn to put our mind under control first, and we can slowly deal with the truth of the universe. If you can't even put your mind under control, you can't carry on the learning. The first thing is to focus and put your mind under control. You think your mind is under control? It isn't. Your mind and my mind, our mind, have always not been under control. Sometimes they are, but not. Most of the time not under. Because your thought goes like a monkey. So volitional actions also created from action of the body, speeches of the mouth. And action of the body, speeches of the mouth are all generated from where? From the mouth itself? From the senses? From the eyes, the ear, the nose, the tongue, the taste? No, it's from the mind inside. So we go to the origin. We have to purify our mind. We have to put our mind first under control. If one can put one's mind under control, wonders will work out. In North America, we call it positive thinking. You see, the Buddhist concept is more than just positive thinking. The positive thinkers say, if you put your mind under control, you can ask your mind to do whatever you want to do, good or bad. So we want to put our mind under control to do only good deeds. We want to put our mind under control to go the enlightenment process. Where do you want to put your mind to? You want to put your mind into egoistic deeds to hurt people, to pollute the world? Or you would want to put your mind under control to purify yourself, to purify the whole world? Our mind should be for the good cause, not for the bad cause. So we look at the past now. Why did we come here? Because of in previous lives, in our previous life. You think you only have one life? Then you're short-sighted in your time dimension. You're paradoxical in your thinking. Why? When you think about this life, you have yesterday, you have last year, you have 2 years ago, you have the time when you were born as a baby, that's your past. You have your present, and you think you have a future. So within this life, you have a past, a present, and a future. Your time dimension is too restricted to one life. What happened to your previous, before you were born? You were in another form, in another life, in your past. Because you forget your past, you don't believe there's a past life. Some people argue, if I have a past life, how come I forget about it? People would argue about that. I should remember my past life. There are kids who remember their past lives, you know. Why can't we remember our past lives? We cannot even remember our baby life. How can you remember our past life? I asked you, what happened to you when you were 1 year old, 2 year old, 3 year old? Can you remember all the details when you were 3 year old, 4 year old, 5 year old, 6 year old? You can't even remember when you were 5, when you were from baby to 5 years old. How could you remember your past life, which is so long ago? You're paradoxical in your thinking. So we can't remember. It's not because we were not capable. It's just our mind is structured in such a way that we can't even remember baby life. How can we remember past life? But that does not rule out the fact that you've got a past life. This is very important for you. This is more important than taking your breakfast, your dinner, your lunch. This is about you. Don't you want to understand more about yourself? How come we have depression? How come we cannot be more successful in what we're doing? How come we cannot concentrate? How come we cannot focus? How come we feel sad? Don't you want to know more about life? Don't you want to eliminate your ignorance, our ignorance? Don't you want to be enlightened like a saint? Do you want to be more wise?